Hello everyone, this is Chess Culture and today we're going to take a look at a game we wish you've watched earlier. Now, first of all, I'd like to thank all our subscribers for their support, and if you haven't joined, please subscribe. Today's game is a recap of a game I played against a former national champion and an Olympian player who is none other than Mr. Caiphas Theophilus. Now, this game was played at the National Friends of Chess Tournament 2025 on the fourth round. So this game starts out now with pawn to d4. I responded to its knight to f6, and knight to f3 was played, and pawn to d5. Now white immediately strikes in the center with pawn to c4, and I played e6 here. Now, a few minutes before I played this match, I ran a quick research on him and I saw how he demolished a player who played the Slav defense. So I was aware of how good he was in close positions. So knight to c3 was played, and his bishop comes out, and now bishop comes to e7. His bishop comes to f4 and short castled immediately. Now pawn to e3, and I knew it was time to strike back with c5. So the idea of this move is to open a sharp game. Now c captures and knight captures, which is the best move in the position, and now he retreats back to g3, which I didn't see as a good move, but I just decided to activate my queen now with queen to a5. Now queen to d2 comes up because the idea of queen to a5 was I'm planning on capturing with both the knight and the queen. So he defends now with queen to d2, and then the move cx d4 was played. So here I started feeling a bit pumped up about the position because now the center has opened up and then his winning chances have actually reduced, because I'm a very tactical person in nature. So then he played the move knight captures d5. So yeah, I had two options actually. I had between capturing queen takes and then forcing his knight to retreat, or him losing the right to castle, or capturing the knight. So yeah, I knew it was more of a psychological warfare because of his experience and everything. He may outplay me in the end game, so I didn't want to go for that. I wanted to keep some board and then roll out with the middle game play. So yeah, I captured with the knight, captured with the queen, and then he captured here, which was a massive blunder. And then it was just a slight opening error that cost this game. So if you are watching, you can pause the video and then find the best move for black in this position. Okay, so for those who found the correct move, the correct answer here is queen to a5 check, which is a great move by the ancients. So the idea is, if the queen comes back to defend the king, then we have this check, the bishop pinning the queen. So now the king is forced to move, and then after he moves, we then swing in our rook now to d8, putting in a massive pressure on the board, and then he's forced to move again, and then we attack again once with tempo. The queen attacks the bishop attacks the queen, and the queen is forced to move once again. But this time I was also afraid of the move queen to c7. Okay, but then I discovered that it doesn't work because after queen to c7, and the idea is attacking both the queen and the rook. um I found the idea a brilliant move, which is queen to a6, which forces checkmate in one move. Now because the queen attacks the king, and the rook cuts off the king now from crossing the d5, and the bishop also cuts off the king from the light squares. So now when the queen attacks on the light squares, the queen is now forced to come back, and then we deliver a checkmate. So let's go back a bit, and then now you see that the move doesn't work. So he plays a good move, which is queen to c4. Now here, I knew the idea for me now would be to try and maximize this attack. So I played the move. I played the move. So yeah, I played the move pawn to b6. Now he brings his rook into the game, and here I played a brilliant move. Can you find the best move here for black in this position? When I played this move, I think he shook his head in in disbelief that no, that I actually underestimated my opponent. So I played the move. You can pause the video to find out what the move is. Um, in 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and one. Okay, so now I play the move bishop to d2, which is a brilliant sacrifice by the bishop. Now, if the rook captures, we have rook takes, and the king cannot capture, so he is forced to capture back with the knight, and then we bring our bishop now to a6. This is the idea of the bishop sacrifice. So at the end of the forcing line, we'll have bishop to a6 on the board. Okay, so he then uh, captures, and then rook captures, the knight captures, and then bishop to a6, the stunning move of the game, the move that pins the queen to the king. And here he plays the move pawn to a3. Now I could have easily captured this queen, but his knight to come in and then become a bit active with knight here and the rest. So here I decided to play a flashing move on the board, which is knight to c3. Now the idea of this move is that the queen cannot capture the knight because we're still keeping the tempo on the queen. So now we're using this opportunity to develop all our pieces according to the rule of Paul Murphy. You know, Paul Murphy was telling us through his games that whether you are attacking or you are defending on the board, one of the things that is candidate for you is development. So knight to c3, c6 was played, and then he now brings his king back, wasting the tempo, and then giving me now the chance to capture uh, the queen, and then the knight captures. And now, can you tell me the best way to bring out the last piece of the game, the last inactive piece? Yes, which is rook to d8. Now, rook to d8, we are activating the last piece on the board and forcing him to move again. So he played the move king to c2, and then I swung in now with my queen by bringing it now to e1. The idea is stopping my opponents from developing. So as you are also developing your pieces, another thing that you must also have in mind is that you must reduce your opponent's ability to also develop his pieces. So now the king comes up now to b3, but here I push the pawn to b5, and here he plays the move knight to e5, and then after queen to e1 check, the king moves, and then knight takes e5. This was the killing move, and after this move was played on move 24, my opponent brought down his hands and then resigned, because if the bishop captures now here, this is going to lead to an eventual checkmate, which starts with the move rook to c8, which checks the king, and now the king is forced to move to the only available square, which now forces an eventual checkmate on the board. So on the move after knight takes e5, my opponent brought out his hand, and that was how I was able to defeat a former Nigerian chess champion, and this turned out to be one of the best games I've played throughout the year. So if you enjoyed this game, kindly like and subscribe, and then you can share your views or comments in the comment section, and I'll be waiting to see you guys there. Bye for now, and see you in the next video.